When someone asks you, how wealthy are you? Most people immediately think money, investments, income. But what if I told you today money is only one form of wealth? Because every day you're spending currencies that are even more valuable than dollars. Well, listen, today's conversation is going to completely transform the way you think about success, leadership, and the legacy you're creating. Come on, let's get this conversation started. Welcome to Transformation Station Leadership Podcast, where leadership, resilience, mindset, and transformation comes together to help you and I grow from the inside out. I'm your host, Adrienne Benton, and I'm so grateful that you chose to join us today. Well, listen, before we dive into this great conversation today, we have some celebrating to do. That's right, we sure do. What are we celebrating? I'm so glad to share it with you. We are celebrating 7,100 podcasts. That's right. Listen, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who has joined us over the past few seasons. But notice I said past few seasons because we're at 7,100, and I know you're ready to take us to 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. And the way we do that is when you share this podcast with the other leaders in your network. So here's your invitation. If you have missed even one episode, you hear me, right? If you have missed even one episode of season 1, season 2, season 3, or even season 4, I need you to go back and download the replay. Listen to the replay, share it at your staff meetings, talk to your cousin, auntie, grandfather, talk to everybody about it because we're giving gems that will help us live. All right. Super excited because today joining me is Robert Riopel. And we're talking about the 4 currencies of life. I know you're saying to yourself, what is the 4 currencies of life? Well, let me tell you a little bit about Robert before we start this conversation. Robert is an international best-selling author, app designer, entrepreneur, trainer who has spent the past 18 years traveling all around the world and sharing his passion. He has also shared the stage with and trained many of the top trainers and thought leaders in the world today. And with his high energy and heartfelt style, he draws on his journey from humble beginnings to financial freedom at the age of 32. He inspires individuals to tap into our greatness. Realizing that he's not the only person that struggled, Robert's clues opens individuals like you and I up to the possibilities that lie within us. And that is why he is a highly sought after presenter and our guest today. Robert, welcome to Transformation Station Leadership Podcast. We're thrilled to have you with us today.
Oh my goodness, Adrian, I am lit up with goosebumps just from your energy. Congratulations on the milestone. That is
Woo!
phenomenal. I'm giving you like whoop whoop. That is amazing. And so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Thrilled to have you. So I've been looking forward to this conversation, right? When I first saw the 4 currencies of life, instantly, of course, I thought currency, money, and I'm like, okay. And then as I started to dive in a little bit more into who you are, I'm like, we need to have this conversation. So let me tell you, before we start asking you a question, what I've been thinking. So here's what I'm thinking. Success, many times, is often measured by what we can accumulate. We are kind of
True.
steered in that way, right? Um, but I've learned over the years, a leader, that significance many times is measured by what I'm able to invest. For example, like how I spend my time, what I give my energy to, what I give my attention to, the relationships that I'm able to build or not build. So I want to ask you this question. When we as leaders hear the word currency, as I started out, we often think about money, right? Typical.
Right.
But you
Yeah.
you've introduced the concept of the 4 currencies of life. So what are the 4 currencies and why do you believe they're even more valuable than financial wealth?
Well, here's the first thing I'm going to say on that, Adrian, is, and you can tell me, you probably know people that have a lot of money And so money wise, they may be rich,
Mhm.
but their rest of their life, their relationships, all of that, they're kind of
Mhm.
broke, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
and I know some, and you probably know people as well. They seem to have no money, but they have the happiest, most fulfilling lives out there.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's why when I looked at the four currencies, and I like to keep things simple for people to be able to remember it. So I love acronyms. So when I talk about the four currencies of life, I use the word rich,
Yes.
RICH, because that really explains and lays out what these four currencies are. So let's
Mm.
dive into them. The
Yes.
first one, the R, it stands for reputation. Would
Mm.
you agree that your reputation enters a room before you even do? And
1000%.
so that's if you have a bad reputation, a poor reputation, then you're out of the current because
Mhm.
people are already looking at your reputation and they're
Mhm.
making decisions before they even get to meet you.
Mhm.
You've met me just from looking at my biography, doing some research on me. But
Mhm.
until you got and I got on a conversation on the camera here, you don't really know me yet. But my
Correct.
reputation has kind of preceded me and it's
Correct.
got you excited. You want to talk to me. And but I could come on here and be a grumpy old and be like, I don't really want to talk to you, right? So your reputation is a currency that people have. And
Mm.
unfortunately, most people they don't really look at their reputation.
Mhm.
And not that you want to control it, but here's what I am very, very adamant that if there's a negative about my reputation, I want to know why. And I
Mhm.
protect it because
Mhm.
my reputation is what opens doors for me as
Mhm.
well as opportunities. But
Mm.
just in the same way, my reputation can close doors and close
Mhm.
opportunities. So that's the
Mhm.
first currency I look at, which is reputation.
Mhm.
Now, the I stands for the one that people think of the most, income. What
In
kind of money are you making? But income isn't just income from your job. You
Mhm.
mentioned that you have a job that you do and you love doing this on the side. And
Mhm.
so, do you have multiple streams of income coming in? Do you,
Mhm.
and when look at the word currency,
Mhm.
current. You've got to be
Correct.
in the current, and most people aren't in the current. They're stuck in an eddy off to the side, going in circles, and
Mhm.
they're paddling because maybe they only have one kind of currency. And so
Mm.
you've got to have those multiple streams of currency that are coming in, and with being clear, without you working harder for it. Let's
Right.
work smarter at those currencies.
Right.
Passive income, which a lot of people hear about, it's something I teach about, is passive income. Can you get
Mhm.
your money working instead of you? We work hard, and there's a lot like if you're listening to this right now, I know you're probably a hard worker.
Yes.
So if you're already a hard worker, why not get your money working hard for you? That would
Mm.
be income. And so I have incomes from a lot of different ways, even though technically I retired at the age of 32. And to
Mm.
me, Adrian, retired just means I'm tired again.
Hey.
So
Love
I'll
it.
never
Love it.
quit doing I'll never quit doing what I'm doing. I still have an income that comes in from me actually working. You and I
Mm.
are talking right now.
Mhm.
I just arrived yesterday in South Africa. I am
Mhm.
about to do a very intensive 4-day training. I'll take a couple days and relax, and then I fly to the Philippines. I'll do a 3-day training. I'll take
Mhm.
a couple days relax. I fly to Malaysia, do a 5-day training. And
Mhm.
so I still have an income doing what I love because when
Yes.
I'm impacting lives,
Yes.
that brings me so much joy. So income
Yes.
is a type of currency.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the third one.
Mhm.
The C stands for calendar.
Calendar.
I could probably take one of these devices for those if you're listening, I'm holding up my phone right now. And I could ask someone to look at their calendar, and your calendar would tell me everything about your life.
Mm.
What's
That's
important to you and what's not important to you.
Mhm.
See, if you're not scheduling, and here's what I want people to understand there's a wealth rule that says this, Adrian. It says, in wealth, in money, pay yourself first. And people
Mm.
who understand that, that's what they do, and that's why they can create wealth. But it
Mhm.
always blows my mind when you ask people about, are you taking care of yourself first? Are you actually taking your phone and your calendar and physically entering in what I call pamper time or
I see.
freedom time for you? Are you
Right.
actually putting it on your calendar before anything else? Because
Mm.
if you're not, you're simply saying that that currency is not
Mm.
important to you.
That important
You'll
to you.
get to it when you
When
have time. And we all get really busy, which means we usually run out of time. So your calendar is a currency. And I learned this the hard way. I wasn't doing well in health. And when it comes to health and your calendar, one of the things I say to people is because it's scheduling time for yourself, scheduling time with family, scheduling time for, getting healthy, whatever it is. And especially some people go, well, Robert, do you believe in having time for yourself? Absolutely. Adrian, I just celebrated my 37th wedding anniversary. And thank you. My wife is everything to me. And we have our time together, but we also have to schedule time separate because we can only give what we have. And if so, we don't take time for ourselves, how can we truly give to others? So there's two words I want people to take in consideration when they're thinking of their calendar, and especially scheduling time for themselves. One word, you have to feel selfish sometimes. Selfish. And the second word is creativity. And here's what I mean by that. I get the question all the time, Robert, you're traveling all over the world. Why not just travel in Canada or even then to the US and train where you're close by? And I say, well, I'd love to, and I have in the past, but I love going on long flights because that's where I get, unless my wife's with me, the moment I step on the plane and I sit in my business class seat, that's my time. That's time for me. I do not do business. I watch movies because I love watching movies. I love to read, so I read. I drink good food, or I eat good food, drink good wine, because that's my time. So that's how I regenerate me. And that's how I get creative. And that way I don't feel as selfish because I am taking care of me. Because I know the moment I hit the ground and I land, I'm going to be on stage 3-4 days at a time for 12 hours a day. So if I'm not taking care of me, how can I take care of others?
So true.
And that actually leads into currency number 4. The H stands for health. How healthy are your relationships? How healthy are your thoughts around money? How healthy is your body? Your health, and my wife signs all of her emails this way, to health and wealth. Because without health, wealth means nothing money-wise.
Yep.
And so it's about having that balance of all 4 of those. Look at your reputation, look at your income, look at your calendar, look at your health. Because if you truly want to have a wealthy, wealthy life, we are holistic beings, so you got to cover all 4 of those.
I love this. You have given us this amazing formula. So let's kind of recap this again. The R stood for reputation. You're watching, you're listening to this right now. I want you to really stop and think about what's resonating you and go ahead and put it in the chat. Tell us in the comment section, like, what is coming to you as you're reviewing this and as you're contemplating how this impacts you. I stands for income. And, I love the fact that you said that it's not just money, right? But income doesn't just pertain to money. And it's so true because we spend time, energy, like, in all these different ways, right? Calendar. When you said, I can look at somebody's calendar and I can tell what's important to them, I said, ouch. I started thinking about my calendar. Oh my goodness. What would he learn about me as he reviewed my calendar, But it's so true, because when we look at our calendars, we see what it is that actually we prioritize in life, right? And you talked about 2 words, selfish, creativity. It's okay to be selfish in terms of taking care of yourself. Like, that is paramount. I was thinking you were talking about being on the plane. I was thinking to myself the analogy that they tend to use when they say you got to put your own mask on first.
That's right.
You someone else, right?
Yep.
Creativity, give yourself the room and the space. So many times as leaders, we're high driven. We are about the mission, making the money, making the promotion, all the things. And we begin to lose ourselves and that creative side, that side that knows how to laugh, right? That can just enjoy the simple things. And so, leaders, this is a masterclass that we're having right now. We just started because the last one was health. And, I can't tell you how many times, Robert, that I know people that have worked for years and they retired. They finally got to that place of retirement, and either they retired and had a heart attack, had a stroke, or there was some physical ailment or something happened and they never got a chance to enjoy.
Yep.
Ooh, and I say to myself all the time, like, Adrian, you got to stop and smell the roses. This is important. But man, what are you gonna have when all this is over? Like you have to lay that foundation and cultivate that and tend to that garden now so that it will be there, right? So that you have the energy, you still have the capacity to be able to enjoy when that time comes. So let me ask you this question, right? How can
Mhm.
leaders become more intentional about investing these currencies rather than simply spending them?
Well, and that's where it comes to the calendar one. Is I live by my calendar because it tells you what my priorities are,
Mm-hmm.
and I have the you know one of the biggest things because I've been able to work with so many people around the world that they go, well, their belief is, Robert, if I work on becoming successful, then my family pays the price, and so
Mm-hmm.
they then feel guilty and they self sabotage. And so when I say, take a look at your calendar, if you go and put it on there, your important pieces, that time for you, your family first. Again, I call them pamper pieces. If you put that on there first, then all of a sudden you'll be amazed at how much time is actually left on your calendar for family, or sorry, for working. And so I use also on my calendar, I use something called focus time.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are really good, and Adrian, I'm going to use you as an example. Um, I imagine with all that you do, you're very, very busy.
Mhm. Yes.
Most people are busy, and most people get good at being busy.
Mhm.
But the question is, are they productive? And here's what I mean. I'm working on my newest book, and I
Mhm.
can go into my office, say, time to write the book. I'll go in there 8 hours later, I'll come up, man, was I busy. But then I look back and I'm like, but
Mm.
how much did I really do on the book? What
Mm.
else was I doing? Oh, I was answering
Yeah.
emails. I was
Mhm.
doom scrolling. I got
Mhm.
distracted over here. I got distracted over there. So I
Mm.
wasn't really being productive. So what I will do on my calendar is I might say 10 to 10:30, write book. And at that time, I know that while I'm in that focus time at 30 minutes, and there's
Yeah.
research all over the place, Adrian, that says how long a person can truly stay focused on something. I know for me, learning me, I can only speak for me, 30
Mhm.
minutes. Give me
Mhm.
30 minutes before I start getting distracted. So, what I'll do is I will take my phone out again, since we all have these little devices. I'll turn it to my stopwatch. I'll set it for 30 minutes and I will hit start. Now, the
Mhm.
first time, a couple times you do this, oh, you're going to get ready. You're going to get ready. Finally, you drop into what I call flow state, where now things are just going, you're moving, and all of a sudden
Mhm.
that alarm's going to go off. And what
Mhm.
are you going to do? Oh, I'm in flow state now. I'll just keep going. Wrong
Yeah.
answer.
There.
The moment that, no matter what state you're in, the moment that that alarm goes off, you stop. You
Mhm.
stop what you're doing, because if you don't, you've conditioned to your mind that your word means nothing,
Mm.
nothing. And so by
Mercy.
stopping, you're teaching yourself that, okay, I set a commitment 30 minutes. Now, the next time you do a focus time on it, you're going to drop in quicker because you
Mhm.
know I can't waste time. And I've
Mhm.
tracked myself over the years, Adrian, and I've realized 30 minutes of me being productive
Mhm.
is the equivalent to about 6 hours of being busy.
Mercy.
So look at how much time I just freed up. And so when you put it on your calendar and you put in your pamper pieces, first time with family and all that, and then you put a couple focus pieces in, now you can work as much as you want in all the other free time on your calendar without feeling guilty.
That is so important. Absolutely important. Leaders, you know, we always like to take an opportunity to again stop and assess what is resonating with us. We want to hear from you. So share with Robert and I what's resonating with you, whether you're watching live right now or whether you're watching on the replay. Talk to us. What is resonating with you? What are you being drawn and called to let go of, to add in, to commit to? We want to continue to grow with you. So, Robert, you know, life is full of phases, right? So, what are the four phases of life that you see that people constantly go through?
I've mentioned one of them already, but let's go to another acronym because, again, I love acronyms. I
Mhm.
use the word open because if you
Mhm.
do this, it's going to open up your life. The O stands for what I call the observation phase. This is the
Okay.
time, Adrian, where it's, what do I want? What do I
Mm.
truly want? What are my dreams? This is not planning stage. It's just time to take time to yourself, meditate. What would a
Mhm.
great life look like? This is the time to create vision boards. I'm a huge
Mhm.
believer in vision boards. So you
Mhm.
get into that observation phase of where you want to be. The
Mhm.
P which is the
Mm,
one I have mentioned to you, the pamper phase. This
okay.
is where you take care of yourself.
Mm,
I got into living my passion at one point of teaching when I
mm,
first learned to train, and I was over living my passion, which is bad. I forgot
mhm,
to take care of myself, and my body and my spirit, my energy paid the price. And
mhm,
so I ended up herniating a disc, going through 2 back surgeries because I forgot to pamper myself. And one of
mm,
my biggest pampers is called Freedom Days. And what that is when I come home from an event overseas, my family deserves the full me, but my
mm,
wife knows I'm going to be tired. So my first day back, we put on the calendar as a freedom day. If we want to
mm,
stay in bed all day, or if we want to binge watch TV, we want to sleep all day, that's what we do because that allows me to regenerate me.
yes.
Hey, because I'm on a trip I normally don't do, I'm normally not gone for 3 weeks.
Mhm,
When I get home, on our calendar is a solid month of being out in the woods camping. Or
mm,
let's be clear, we're glamping. We've got the
mhm,
glamorous camping going on.
mhm,
And my wife and I are going to be out in nature, sitting on a river with our animals. Now I'll have Starlink and I'll still be able to do a little bit of work because I love doing what I do. But
mhm,
I'm going to be there for a whole month just
mhm,
being on the river, enjoying the wilderness. That's going to be amazing. So, pamper is the second phase.
mhm,
Third phase that people go through is called the energy phase. And this
mm,
is the time to get stuff done. Write
mm,
those emails, create your new program, create a product, do
mm,
the meetings. So, energy phase is where you get focused. This is where focus time comes in. And
mhm,
when people hear the concept for the first time of focus time, they get
mhm,
excited, Adrian. They're like, oh, I'm going to fill up my calendar with all these focus times. No, especially if you're starting. The rule of thumb I go by, your first week of implementing focus time,
mhm,
three, three focus times in your first week. That's it. Because if you also go on your calendar and fill every minute with focus time, you're not going to focus on any of them. You're going
right,
to be distracted. Start
right,
off, get in the habit, create it. Because when you're in
right.
an energy flow, just get it done. And then
Mhm.
the fourth one, I had to get creative with the word because the
Yes,
last letter is N, but the
yes.
word is actually unclutter. So it's the second letter of the word is for my acronym.
Mhm,
This is another word for chaos. It's
mm,
interesting how many people they look at chaos in their life and they get frustrated by chaos. They resist chaos. Chaos is natural. In
mm,
fact, without chaos, you don't advance in life. So the reason I call it the unclutter phase is because the way you participate with chaos is you volunteer to unclutter things in your life.
mhm,
Adrian, have you ever gone to the refrigerator, opened it up, and you're like, ooh, time to clean some
yes,
stuff out of here?
yes.
That's uncluttering. So
Mm,
I'll every couple weeks I'll go to my office and I'll straighten it up. I'll get rid of the paperwork I don't need. I'll
yes,
I'll unclutter. My wife and I every 6 months on average we go into our closet and we
mhm,
look at what we have not worn in 6 months and
mm,
we unclutter our closet, donate
mm,
it, throw it away, give it away, whatever, right?
mhm,
But we unclutter it because universal principle, you create an opening, the universe will rush in to fill it with it for you again. So if you want something great, you got to be willing to get rid of things that are just good or not, you're not using. So
mhm,
by uncluttering, being in that chaos, guess what phase it puts you back into? The observation phase. What is it
yep.
now I want? And so
Mhm,
you end up going in different parts of your life will be in different parts of the phases. Your relationship might be in observation phase while your work's in the energy phase, while your
mm,
health is in the unclutter phase. So
mhm,
just by understanding those four basics and that they go around and around and around in a
mhm,
circular cycle, you'll be able to start to identify where you're at and then utilize it. Oh, I'm in the, no wonder I'm not being productive. I'm in the pamper phase. I'm tired. Great.
mm,
Take some time off. And I
mhm,
want people to be clear, taking pampering yourself doesn't take a long time. One of the things
mhm,
I'll do on a consistent basis is I like music, so I'll put my earbuds in and I'll sit down and actually like the sound of rain or water for
mhm.
20 minutes. I'll listen to the sound of waves crashing onto beach or whatever, and I just close my eyes for 20 minutes, and that rejuvenates me to go into an energy phase. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of different ways to use it.
I'm so glad that you use that last example because when you were talking, one, I know that everybody can totally relate with what you're saying as far as like, you're going to be traveling, then you're going to take time off to physically like get away. And I was thinking to myself, like, yes, I think that is ideal. And then two, there are many leaders that are listening and watching right now that may not necessarily be able to take that time away, go away for a month or a week. And so I love this example. And so we're listening, leaders, we're listening, we're watching right now. It's really important to just understand the concept of what Robert is telling us. Like, figure out what is that opportunity that you have to do something for you that actually feeds you, that rejuvenates you, right? Because we want to stay away from busy and doing things that are meaningless. But no, what actually feeds you? And if you're listening and watching right now, I know you are. If you are saying to yourself, I don't know what feeds me, I really don't know what was
Mm,
satisfied, and this is a good place to stop, right? Robert talked about that. Oh, observe. This is a good time to stop and observe yourself. Do an assessment. Ask yourself basic questions. What makes me laugh? What makes me cry? When do I tend to feel like more of myself and I feel like I actually have energy and can
yes.
contribute? This is really important because, as Robert was sharing with us earlier, we can't lead others well if we are not leading ourselves well.
That's
And so
right.
this is really, really important. This is Robert, we're gonna have to have you back again because I feel like we just barely scratched the surface, right? So we're gonna
Anytime.
like more,
Anytime.
like, seriously, because we could be here for a whole hour. But I want to ask you this final question as we turn the corner here, right? For the leader that is listening right now that wants to become a better steward of these four currencies, where would you encourage them to begin? And what is one truth that you hope they will never forget?
Oh my goodness. Well, part of the answer is what you just said. Begin.
Mm,
The biggest reason why, like, there's people out there that have a lot of knowledge and they wonder why people that have less knowledge make more money than them. Is
mhm,
because the people with the less knowledge, they get started. They don't wait. I have what my business partner and I call God mode, and God just stands for get one done. Quit
mm,
thinking yourself out of success. The greatest
mm,
way you're going to learn is by getting something done, because then you're going to see what worked, what didn't
mm,
work, what you could do different. And so just give yourself permission to make mistakes. Be okay with that. I make a lot of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. In fact, I plan on every year, one of my goals is to fail even faster than I failed the year before,
I
because
see.
that's where some of the greatest lessons come from. So
Yes.
don't think yourself out of success, just start.
I love
Robert,
it.
I'm not ready. I'm not perfect. Don't have to be. Start.
Don't have to
But I
be.
don't have enough knowledge. Yes, you do. Start.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, so many times we know more than we think we do, and or we know where the resource is. We know where to get the knowledge, right? Which makes
That's
such a
right.
difference. So on Transformation Station, I'm going to put you on the spot now. We have a new part of our podcast called the Mobilizing Minute. So in 1 minute, I'm going to ask you two questions, and I want you to just rapid fire, if so, into our community. So number one, finish this sentence. The leaders who make the greatest impact are the ones who
Are authentic.
love it. Love it. Are the ones who are authentic. Okay, question number two. If you could leave leaders with one word for this season, what would that word be?
Passion.
Hmm. Why?
Follow it. Give yourself permission to follow your passion,
Mm,
even if it's not in the direction you think you're supposed to go. And when you
mm,
do that authentically, those two together, that's what
mm.
gives those nano hearts.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Angel. Angel said I needed to hear that. Angel, we're so glad that you're with us today. Fantastic. All right. Well, listen, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the leaders that are listening and watching, they want to find out more. They want the book. They want more, more, more. What's the best way for our viewers and our listeners to be able to engage with you?
Yeah, Adrian, I believe one of the greatest gifts any of us has to give the world is our time. It's one of our greatest commodities. And you took your valuable time to interview me. And yes, I would come back in a heartbeat. I'm lit up with goosebumps right now. Of course I would. I love your energy. And your listeners have taken their time to listen to me chatter on as well. And so, as a gift from you and I to them, if they go to my website for my business partner and I, ahr3.com, which is Aaron Huey, Robert Raymond Riopel. So ahr3.com, they're actually going to be able to download my book, Success Left a Clue,
Mm,
the PDF copy of it as our gift to them.
I love it.
But I will say this, it comes with a caveat.
Yes.
The caveat is it's not there's actually action steps. All the way through the book, I will say at the end of each chapter, here's some actions I want you to take. Don't just read the book. do the action steps. It's a workbook. And
Mm.
because I'm quirky and I love having fun, I'll even start some of the chapters with something like, did you do the last action steps? If not, stop reading right now. Go
Right
back,
now.
do the action step.
I love it. 1000%. Okay. So listen, leaders, you see the link here on the screen. It's also going to be in the description box. We want to invite you to go ahead and click on that link today, right now. Don't hesitate. Don't think about coming back to it later. Right now. We need you to go get the books. We need you to reach out. Matter of fact, reach out to Robert and let him know that you saw, that you heard this particular episode. Share with him what resonated with you and ask him questions, because we know the community
Please.
that learns
Yeah.
together, grows together, and we want to do that. Robert, thank you so much for joining us. It has been an absolute honor and joy to have you with us here on Transformation Station Leadership Podcast.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Wow, that was amazing. I learned so much in this particular episode. I am actually going to go back and on the replay, I need to watch this again, take down the formulas, and really, do an assessment for myself. So, since you and I are on the same page, here's what I'm going to remind you of a few things. As we are in the moving towards the month of August now, every month we have our leadership briefing. And so coming up in August, we are talking about leading through grief. We have our briefing that's going to happen on August the 3rd. I need you to go ahead and make sure that you tune in. You'll have the whole month to watch it on YouTube, Facebook, wherever, LinkedIn, wherever you get your podcast. But I want you to lean in on that, because we also are going to have our Lead Her Shift webinar, which is happening on August the 9th. And we have Dr. Candace Leffingwell. If you go on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, all the places, you'll be able to see the advertisement. And the registration link is going to be here in the description box. You want to go ahead and register today, and do not come by yourself. I also want to remind you that your copy of A Greater Force Than Failure, Intentional Time with God, guess what? It's waiting for you. It is waiting for you on Amazon. It's calling your name right now. So go ahead and grab it. A Greater Force Than Failure, Intentional Time for God was for anybody that has ever made a mistake. Go ahead and raise your hand. Anyone who's ever made a mistake and you've said to yourself, how do I move forward? Not just for the moment, but move forward permanently. And so the book is going to take you through 4 steps. I invite you to get your copy today, and don't just get one for yourself, but go ahead and go through the journal with a friend, with someone else that you know is ready to move forward in life. And then finally, we had a great time with Robert today. I want to invite you to go ahead and share this episode right now. Share it with a friend, with a colleague, with a coworker, about the 4 currencies of life. Well, special thank you again to Robert. This has really been great. He reminded us that the richest life is not defined by the size of a bank account. It's defined by the wisdom with which we invest our time, our energy, our attention, our relationships, and our purpose. And as you reflect on today's conversation, I'm asking you to ask yourself this question: am I spending my life's greatest currencies, or am I intentionally just investing them? Today's episode, it has encouraged you. So again, I invite you to share this episode with another leader that is committed to building a life of significance. And until next time, keep growing, keep leading, and keep on transforming from the inside out.